And in this video I'm going to be comparing the specs of the HTC One Max to the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Now the HTC One Max has just become official today. It's been officially announced by HTC and it sits in the larger smartphone size category, the phablet shall we say. Now the Note 3 is currently dominant, the most popular smartphone in this sort of screen size area, the larger screen size. But how do these two compare? What's different? Do hit that thumbs up button and let's find out in this head-to-head spec comparison. Now looking at the size of both of these devices, they are larger than your standard smartphone, but the HTC One Max is quite a bit larger than the Note 3 as well. 13.3mm in height, 3.3mm in width and 2mm in terms of thickness. So it is a little bit larger than the Note 3, especially in terms of the height. It is quite a bit taller, and that's because of the speakers, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. But one of the other reasons for the larger size is because it does have a larger screen, a 5.9-inch screen versus the 5.7-inch screen on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. So you've got a little bit more real estate. It's not going to make a huge deal of difference, but you do have a slightly larger screen on the HTC One Max. Now the resolution, both of these have a full 1080p display, 1920 by 1080, so an amazing resolution on both of these. You've got 386 ppi versus 373 ppi, so you're not really going to see any difference in between these two in terms of the ppi pixel density, because it's very minute. Now it is great to see a full 1080p displays on both of these. Full HD videos are going to be looking great on both of these devices, and that viewing experience is going to be really nice. In terms of the weight, the HTC One is also quite a bit heavier, 49 grams heavier than the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. So 217 grams on a smartphone might be a bit too much for a lot of people out there. It is quite heavy, but that does come down to the fact that it does have a premium build. It's got that curved aluminium unibody design, as we've seen with the HTC One and the HTC One Mini, which is really nice, and I'm a real fan of it. It looks really nice, very slick, and it feels really premium as well. The Note 3, not to say it's bad, it's got the polycarbonate plastic, but Samsung have gone away from that hyperglaze finish, the glossy plastic that they've traditionally gone for, and the back cover is a leather style material. It is still plastic, but it's styled like leather. It's got the fine stitching to look like a notebook. Now, having used one of these before, it does feel really nice. I do really like it. It doesn't feel just like leather, but it's quite grippy and it's quite nice material, so I do like the Note 3. Now the advantage here of the Note 3 is that although it's a plastic build, it is a lot lighter, so a little bit more compact and lighter in the pocket, and that's quite important, especially when you're considering these size devices. The Note 3 is available in the black, the white and the pink versions, but you've also got removable back, so you can have lots of different variations there. The HTC One Max has just the silver right now. We may see a black, and there's lots of different varieties of the HTC One. That might also happen with the Max, but right now we've just got the silver that's going to be available initially. Now, in terms of the internals, the Note 3 is one of the best and fastest smartphones out there at the moment. 2.3 GHz quad core. It's got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 processor, so one of the fastest processors out there at the moment. And it's also got the Adreno 330 GPU, the latest on there as well. So very nice, fast and snappy, and it just flies through everything that you throw at it. There's also an octa-core version depending on your market, and that has 8 cores, 4 at 1.9 and the other 4 at 1.3. So packing some real power here, the Note 3. The HTC One Max, you've got a 1.7 GHz quad-core processor, and it's the Snapdragon 600, not the 800 like the Note 3. So not as good as the Note 3 here. And it's also got the Adreno 320 GPU, not the 330. So in terms of performance, the Note 3 definitely got a big advantage here. It's also got 3 GB of RAM, the Note 3 has. The HTC One Max has 2 GB of RAM. And the 3 GB of RAM on the Note 3 is definitely useful for the multitasking abilities of this smartphone, which is really great. So again, another advantage here for the Note 3. In terms of the different versions available, you've got the 16 and 32 on the HTC One Max. On the Note 3, you've got the 32 and 64. So the base model is already going to have more storage on the Note 3. Now both of these are expandable up to 64 GB via micro SD card. Now the Samsung Galaxy lineup have had this for quite a few of their devices, but this is the first we've seen on the One series. The HTC One Max does have expandable storage with that removable back, which you've not seen on the HTC One or the HTC One Mini. So that is is definitely quite nice to see. In terms of the cameras, you've got a 13 megapixel camera on the Note 3. You've got a 4 megapixel camera on the HTC One Max. Now this is an ultra pixel camera, so the pixels are quite a bit larger. The sensor is a 3rd-inch sensor, so in terms of low light performance, the HTC One Max is going to be really nice and really good. The Note 3 has an amazing camera, not brilliant in low light. You can see some examples. I've done a comparison of the Note 3 with the iPhone 5S, so if you want to see that, you can check out the link in the description below. But a very nice camera, and in good light it produces absolutely awesome images with great detail because of that high resolution as well. So the resolution, the Note 3 will win here. If you are somebody who takes lots of low light shots, then the HTC One Max is going to be quite good for that. But in good light, the Note 3 will have a bit of an advantage here. Now both of these pack lots of different features. You've got HTC Zoe and things on the HTC One Max. You've also got dual camera, so now this is quite nice to see. Samsung Galaxy Note has dual camera as well, and it's got lots of other features as well, drama shots, a sound in shot, to name a few, but it's packed with lots of features as you have got with the Samsung Galaxy S4. Similar here. Now operating systems, both are running Android Jelly Bean 4.3, the latest version of Android right now, which will be 4.4 very soon, but 4.3 right now. But they both have their own skins on top. Samsung has TouchWiz and HTC have the HTC Sense UI. So you've got different options here. They both have their advantages and disadvantages, but you're not going to be getting stock Android, so you're not going to be getting the latest version of Android from Google themselves whenever they release it. You are going to have to wait until it goes through HTC and Samsung. In terms of the batteries, you've got a 3300 milliamp battery versus a 3200 milliamp battery. So very similar here, but with these devices, because of these giant batteries, generally speaking, you're not going to have any problems getting through the day and then some. That's one of the big advantages that you've got with these size devices. Now the HTC One Max does not have a removable battery, so it is fixed in place. Now the fact that it's got a removable back and you can access the expandable storage, I would have liked to have seen a removable battery as well, so you can replace it or carry around a spare as well if needed, if you're going to be going away somewhere for a long time. The Note 3 does have a removable battery, so you can get a spare if you want, and you can also replace it altogether, so that's nice to see on the Note 3. So the key differences between these two devices, both of them packing some really nice features. I'd say overall the Note 3 does have better internals and it's got a lot more new features on there. The HTC One Max, the fingerprint scanner is interesting to see, and also that premium build with those dual frontal stereo speakers. But have they done enough to compete in this area? The HTC One Max is the underdog in this area because the Note 3 is dominant. You've had the Note 1, the Note 2 and the Note 3, so it is established in this area. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more on the HTC One Max to really give it an edge, especially in terms of that processor and things. It would have been nice to see some of the latest kit in there. But which do you think is better between these two devices? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here.